programs that can be used to secretly fix elections.
Yes.
How do you know that to be the case?
Because in October of 2000, I wrote a prototype for President Congressman Tom Feeney at the company I worked for in Oviedo, Florida, that did just that.
And would that program that you designed be something that elections officials that might be on county boards of elections could detect?
They'd never see it.
And your testimony is under oath?
Yes, sir.
And the testimony you've given is true?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
In 2000, I was working for Yang Enterprises, which was a company in Oviedo, Florida, and their chief lobbyist, their corporate attorney, and Speaker of the House of Florida was Tom Feeney.
Tom Feeney was the general counsel and registered lobbyist for Yang Enterprises, even while he was Speaker of the Florida House.
He came in one day, one of my first introductions to him, and he wanted us to build a vote flipping software.
He was asked by Tom Feeney to create essentially a vote rigging software prototype.
My interpretation initially was that he wanted to prevent you evil Democrats, because I was a Republican, from cheating. So we know how bad you are. So
he's a Republican, I'm a Republican, which, immediately makes him the good guy right away. So obviously he's not going to try and, steal votes.
He wanted it to run on a Windows platform, be touchscreen capable. He wanted it to not have any additional hardware, so you didn't have to bring in a keyboard, you didn't have to sit across the street in a truck. You could just sit there and punch a button, and the votes all flip.
And the third thing he wanted was that he wanted it so that in the source code, you could not see the fact that it was being flipped. Well, not only you shouldn't be doing that, but you can't do that. You cannot hide in the source code. Done deal. I can't do it. Nobody else can either.
Tom Feeney is best known for being the guy in the 2000 election. No matter what the Supreme Court decided, he was going to assure that the electoral votes went to George W. Bush. He had previously, in 1994, been the running mate to Jeb Bush in Jeb's initial bid for governor in Florida, which he lost.
So I built it for him, gave it to Mrs. Yang along with the sheet on how you prevent vote fraud. She said, "You don't understand. In order to get this contract, we have to hide the vote fraud in the source code. This is to flip the vote in South Florida."
Which, I'm thinking, what are you, a crook? And this is before I knew that Feeney was a crook.
We can only assume that that's what Feeney told her. For some reason, that's what she felt, that's what she knew, and that's what she told Clint Curtis. And that's what he has in his sworn affidavit.
He had a lot of political theory about, you don't have to actually beat the Democrats in the Democratic area, you just have to reduce the margin enough so overall it weakens it, and you win that way. And he's just a wild man. I mean, he was willing to do anything to win. And I'm thinking, well, these people are crooked, but they're probably crazy. No one's going to sit by and let them do this anyway. They tried to bribe me to come back to them. Eventually it got up to, $1 million. They'll give me $1 million to come back. Then it was $1 million to just leave Tallahassee. And Feeney will get me a job anywhere I want to work. Anywhere. Name the price, name the location, you're there. Well, Feeney's the reason I left, because he's a crook. Why am I going to accept a job from him? That just doesn't make any sense.
I can break a bit of news here this morning. Clint Curtis has passed a lie detector test. He took this polygraph exam about a month ago. We gave this tip to a writer by the name of Lucy Morgan at the St. Petersburg Times. She says Curtis passed a lie detector test given by Tim Robinson, retired chief polygraph operator for the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. She quotes Tom Feeney, saying, "All I can tell you is I didn't do any of the illegal things Curtis says I did."
Kind of felt responsible, like I wrote a blueprint for him. Not that I'm the only one in the world who could do that, you know. Any baby programmer would know how to do that. It is super easy. It takes nothing. It's just some hidden buttons on a screen. You hit the little hidden buttons. It gives 51% to the guy you want to win, gives the other 49. So it doesn't matter how you vote, the machine votes for you.
Now that you've got your vote and you want to flip it, you hit the R, hit the S, and it flips. 51-49, Bush wins. I mean, when I did my little write-up for Feeney, of course, I had the Democrat cheating. So, Democrat, submit, flips the votes.
Gotcha.
That's simple. 24 lines of code, you never see it.
So in other words, there's absolutely no assurance whatsoever on anything with regard to these machines.
Absolutely none, unless you look at the source code and make sure it's safe before it goes out.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Congressman Mathers. I know that Congresswoman Waters has a question, and then Senator Miller.
Republicans want to win, and that's it. What we want will be worked out later, as long as we win. So if you want to do something, just get all your groups together at one time. Just say, we're not going to do anything else. We're going to make the vote system, and we're going to fix it. If you don't fix that problem, nothing else you want to do will matter. Winning. The goal has to be to win. And once you get it fixed, then you can go back and focus on what you really wanted to do, but you can do it better because now you won. And that's what you got to do. But that's just me. You know, Republican.
I grew up thinking you're supposed to do the right thing. And that's what I do. I'll do it until someone makes it so I can't.